Well, guys, I have some notes written down on a paper towel.
That's better than I've got.
Now, wait a minute. That stuff is valuable these days.
Oh, yeah.
I know, that's
You're
true.
writing in your paper towel.
I don't really know if I expect any park besides the ones that are open year-round to open this year. Maybe, your Disneys and Universals, the last couple of months maybe of the year they might open. Everyone else, I think there's a very good chance they just won't at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree with that. I haven't seen that anywhere. I haven't seen anybody saying that, but I think that they're just not being realistic.
Well, yeah, they just keep pushing it back a month at a time.
You're talking about they're open at the end of May or they're open early June, but it's just not realistic.
Yeah, because when
you think about everything that they're not able to do.
Exactly.
It should be even just stocking up the food stands right now, and then or not even now, but last month, all the maintenance. It's just that they're not doing it. So I think it was Kennywood was the one that was honest about that when they sent out a message a couple weeks ago, they said that we haven't been able to do our usual preseason, schedule. So we're definitely going to be delayed. It's not just like flipping a switch. You can't just open like that.
I don't remember which park it was, but at least one of them had already started to get their food and stuff in. And then they did the right thing and donated it to the hospitals or people in need or something. Mm-hmm. I don't remember, but I was like, all right, well, they got their food, but now they're giving it away because they're not going to use it.
Yeah. Well, it's not an essential service. So it's kind of like, the economy is going to get slowly reopened. So where does this fit into that plan? Will they even be allowed to open this year?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like dead last.
They wanted.
You don't need theme parks to survive. So they're fun and everything, but they're not essential.
I know. So, who knows? The big ones like Disney and Universal, they're big revenue. They get a lot of revenue, so maybe they want them to open.
Although, well, yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. I mean, in terms of just jobs, especially, like Disney and Universal, they are essential in that sense that they just employ so many people.
Yeah, and just with merchandise, all those parks just make so much money.
Yeah.
Maybe the big ones will open or will be part of whatever the plan to reopen, but what happens to the smaller ones? Do they even survive with being closed for a season? Could they even survive?
Florida's in their own world. They've already determined that WWE is essential.
Oh, right, yeah.
You guys knew that, but they did WrestleMania in an empty building, and they're now still going to be doing the Raws and SmackDowns in the foreseeable future because they got the governor to declare them essential.
Wow.
Well, Linda McMahon, she's what is she?
And that was clearly just a political payoff or something, a political favor of some sort.
Yeah.
So there's no way Disney couldn't do the same thing. When they'll open when they want to open.
Yeah.
Disney says when they open.
I guess, yeah.
If anybody, Universal is the second highest ranking park company. It may also have that kind of pull as well. Mm-hmm. So those two run their own plane. But as far as regional parks, though, they're going to have their own battle to fight.
Yeah, because if they miss a whole entire year, how do you recoup that? How do you, then you have to rehire everybody. That's a whole new staff, basically.
Well, they basically do that anyway. The majority of them are seasonal.
Okay.
That's another thing that they can't do right now. That you normally would have the job fairs going on. you know, in hiring and training the new kids, and they're not doing that right now either. So all the more reason where even if this thing was magically disappeared June 1st, the parks could not open June 2nd. Well, it's just not possible.
Yeah, I mean, think about all of the just the, you know, you mentioned the maintenance and the pre-season prep work, and then what about just supplies? I mean, things like paper towel and toilet paper are, you can't really get them, at least like, you know, regular person can't really get them in the store, and it's even possible to order online. So, I mean, you know, would parks even be able to get stuff like that and food and just other things that they need, cleaning supplies? It's like they're not going to be able. They're not going to be able to open. I really don't think so.
No. I think at best, I think they'll do Halloween.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's the best case scenario for the parks, because that's one of, if not their biggest money making season anyway. You know, everyone loves the Halloween events. So I think as long as it's safe, you know, it's been deemed safe to be out in public by that point. I think Halloween. You know, probably an early onset Halloween, like right early September for all the parks. Even the ones that usually wait later, they'll probably just do an early onset Halloween, you know, at best. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be a summer. I just don't think it's going to happen.
No.
Okay, so say they do, what does that look like? I mean, do they only go half capacity in the park and then half capacity on all the rides and wipe down all the rides? Like, what is that even going to look like?
Will people even want to go?
And will people even want to go, too? You know? That's a good question. I don't know.
Will they want to travel? You know, if they're not already in state, will they be able to travel? Will they want to travel?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the revenue probably comes from, or a lot of their guests probably come from out of state. Like, you guys.
I have already seen pictures of kids on carousels with the face masks on in China.
Oh,
so like in China, they've got the whole face masks. Like you're allowed in, but you have to wear protection.
Well, that's I think Disney, right? Hong Kong or Shanghai, one of them.
I don't know. It was a carousel. That's all I remember. You're lucky.
I think that those parks have reopened, but they do have like a mandatory temperature check as part of the gate process. And then I think they do have mandatory masks that they hand out that you wear.
Okay. All right. So we have something to look at, like a model already out there. Okay.
Yeah, as far as what it might look like here, at least at Disney, who we know will open as soon as they can.
Right.
Maybe you wear a wristband or something around your head, and if you get a fever, it like goes off like a huge alarm, so everyone knows. And then they grab you and they kick you out.
It's an explosive neck collar, and then like as soon as from a certain point, your head just explodes. All right, that person couldn't be here anymore. It's better. We're all better off.
Well, that's like the Running Man. That's like the beginning to the Running Man. Yeah. They have that.
That's what it is. That's what Disney will do. No, it's just Florida. It's hot. No.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't really sick.
Just some heat stroke.
Oh, too bad. Oh
no.
There's like two things here. Yeah, it's like two pronged. It's like, and I know it's more interesting to talk about now, which is like, yeah, what will the parks look like when they first reopen? As far as, and I think it's going to be true of the greater world that, and we're seeing it in China already, where, you know, businesses will be allowed to reopen before the coronavirus is completely gone. So there's going to be a period of, we still have to be acting differently to an extent and being more cognizant about, you know, healthy procedures, but we're going to try to do the best we can to live like we used to. And then there'll be like a period that'll start, you know, may not be for 2 years from now, that it'll be back to, you know, normal, more or less. So, yeah. And then there's the idea or the question of, you know, what things that are going to come into play now might never go away. You know, even when there's no more virus, you know, what might stay and hang around as new customs. So, but I think the first part's more fun to think about first, is just like, what does an interim period park look like?
Really weird. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
I would be okay if everybody who was outside of like my family and you guys stayed 6 feet away from me. Just no way. Stay away.
I'm like 6,000 miles away. Don't worry.
And you want that to last forever.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm not a big fan of people.
No, I mean, I get that. Because, like, I mean, how do you even wait in line? Are they going to have, like, markers on the ground and stuff? I mean...
Yeah, it's like the parks are just... they're so... It's all about being elbow to elbow with other people at different times of the day, at least, you know, most of the day, actually, on a crowded, like a Disney day. So it's just, that's such a part of the experience. So if you can't do it, I don't know.
And it's a ripple effect because you can't wait in line. You know, then you clog the whole park with people waiting in lines, like that horrible Fright Fest at Six Flags, where it was just one giant line that converged in the middle of the park.
That infamous Fright Fest, yes.
Yeah.
That can never happen during this time, for sure. You can't just have more capacity and just let people in forever.
Yeah. And then, I mean, with I guess it's really pretty much applies only to Disney, who has, like, shows. I mean, what about that? Because you can't just pack people around a lagoon to watch Fantasmic. How the hell does that work? You have to cancel all shows for 2 years?
Parade.
I think maybe, yeah. I think shows and parades will be few and far between, if any.
Mark spots. Everybody has to stay 6 feet apart. You can only have 36 people.
That's a weird thing. Yeah, it's like, good luck with that. I mean, even with like queuing and stuff, it's like people aren't going to stay on their marker.
No one's going to listen. They don't listen as it is now.
Right.
Yeah.
They have to have those crazy cast members with the batons, you know, trying to do the best they can to direct traffic during those Disney parades. But like, no one listens.
Right.
You know, and the rest of the times, no one listens. They're not going to listen now.
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to have, there are two types of people, those who love Neil Diamond and those who don't. But there are two types of people in these parks, I think, or just in general now. There are the people that don't care and are just, you know, trying to, whatever, pack in anywhere they can. They're trying to have parties. They don't care. And then there's the crazy germaphobe people. And then you're going to have them together in this park. It's going to be contentious. You're going to have people saying like, get away from me, you know, stand 6 feet away from me. You're going to have both of these people in one space, you know, the crazy germaphobes and the people that are just those kids on spring break, those dumbasses on spring break, you know.
That's a good point though, where there's going to be like fights on a daily basis.
There's going to be fights.
Yeah, I could see that happening for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't that just happen in a grocery store?
Yeah.
It's been happening in grocery stores already, and or sometimes if I've read somewhere that someone was having a party and then like the neighbor just came over with a gun and was like, "This ain't happening." You know, people are getting crazy about it. You know, people are pulling guns on each other.
Yeah. You know what's something that I think might be a thing of the past are water fountains. It just popped into my head.
I use these all the time.
I could see in the interim period, that they'll shut them all off. You know, so you don't have the option.
Now you have to buy your dehydrating Dasani water.
$16. Yeah. Go.
Even right before everything totally shut down, I think they stopped buffets too. It's probably gonna take a long time for those to come back.
It's a bummer. I like a good buffet.
Yeah, me too.
We just did that crazy 1970s one. What was that? The wilderness campground one?
Oh, yeah. And we did Boma.
Oh, the breakfast. Yeah.
We did a couple buffets last time.
Yeah, we did Boma. That's right. Boma. Boma's done?
Boma's not as good as it used to be.
No, but it's done. It shouldn't be done, though.
It'll be back. Just give it some time.
But I guess, I mean, all this stuff, though, you know, character meet and greets, and it's all... yeah, like you said, everybody's elbow to elbow for everything. So, yeah, I don't know.
You know, you have kids that don't understand social distancing, and they just grab you. They just, you know, push into people like a little kid.
Licking handrails and shit.
Yeah, just everywhere. I mean, they don't care.
Yeah, I know. You start thinking this stuff through, and then it's just like, get up in theme parks.
No, you can't. No.
It's like, you know, you almost have to blow by that interim period and just wait till this is done until the vaccine's out.
What about water parks?
You know, I was just thinking that. Yeah, it's like they have it even worse, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like for sure I like water parks. I'm not getting into the water with anybody for at least a year.
Yeah, no, water parks, I think, won't even try until 21 at least. Yeah, you can't. You just can't.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's people soup. No way.
People
Yeah,
soup. You hate
people
water parks
soup.
to begin with.
I didn't like them to begin with.
Corona
Yeah.
soup.
Corona soup, yeah.
Soup.
Oh,
No
it's just
way.
Corona
Or some
soup.
boars, right? Beers,
Boars.
right?
Whoa. Beers and boars.
Yeah. Gross.
But yeah, it's like the queues don't work because you can't just expect people to stay apart. I've seen people theorize that they'll just do virtual queue everywhere. It solves the queue problem, but then there's more people in the midway, and that doesn't solve that problem. It might actually make that worse. So it comes down to like the only way to do it safely is to limit capacity severely, and then also have all virtual queues, and then have no shows.
Sounds great.
It's like really getting a stripped down experience of just like, yeah, I guess it gets to that. Yeah, start asking yourself, at what point is it, why bother?
Yeah, because I mean, what about like also water rides and even just rides that have a water spray? What if that tank water gets contaminated? I mean, you start thinking about all this stuff and.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is that you go to these parks to kind of escape all of that. You're like in a fantasy whatever land, and now you're like, oh my god, touch me, what's in this water? Like that's not what you want to be experiencing when you're there. It's it's about the experience, and you don't want to be even more stressed out there than you are going to the Target.
Right, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I totally
it's a nightmare.
You totally missed what? I'm sorry.
Target.
Oh, you missed Target. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
The simple pleasure of going to a store.
Yeah.
It's like it's stuff you don't miss until you can't do it. You're gonna be really appreciating those burgers and chicken strips when the parks reopen.
Oh.
Find yourself being just like, you know what? This ain't so bad anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to cook it. I don't have to think about it.
At least
Just
that
give
one
me the
time.
chicken strips.
It's that first time, at least.
Maybe it. You say that as a joke, but maybe.
No, I'm half serious. Yeah, I think it's going to be those little things that you didn't think it was possible to miss. That it's like, but you can't do it for not long enough time. It's like Stallone eating that rat burger. It's just like the greatest thing ever. It's just like, Six Flags kangaroo burger. I don't care. It's delicious. Right? Anything like this in months. It's great.
Yeah, I think you're right. The smell of the greasy burger. Yeah.
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 I don't know. Actually, that's probably going too far for me. But like the Flag's famous chicken strips, I think I could see myself enjoying those.
Okay.
Waffle fries. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some greasy park fries. Yeah, I could go for that right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really could.
Well, speaking of rat burgers and vermin and whatever, so what is happening in these parks right now that they're closed? Is it just like, has it become just a jungle, like overrun? What's happening there? What is going on in these parks currently? Is it just like a world frozen in time?
I believe at least the landscaping teams are there. I know in New York, the landscapers are allowed to operate, but they're only allowed to do things like mowing. There's no like pretty flowers being planted and stuff. So I feel like the parks must be at least the same. At least they're getting mowed, even if they're not getting their beautiful spring flowers in yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do these rides need, like, if they don't run for a certain amount of time, is that bad? Is it dangerous when they try and start them up? Like,
Yeah, like is it like a car?
I don't think we're getting anywhere near that amount of time right now. It's still just been a few months. It's just been the winter, and now a month or so more. But I don't think it takes that many people. I mean, you could have a couple of maintenance guys standing 6 feet apart that could at least do a little bit of work. I would imagine. I just don't know if they're bothering to do that because probably for budget reasons. Because pretty much any income this year is questionable. So for the seasonal parks, I think they're probably just keeping everybody home and laid off right now. I just don't think they can afford it. Yeah. And I know like Disney, I'm sure, and Universal are having some minimal maintenance going on, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're not letting everything just go to shit.
Andrew, you were saying
overgrown or whatever.
Yeah. Andrew, you were saying the animals, in Animal Kingdom and then at the safaris, like they have people taking care of them. I mean, like you can't.
Well, they have to be taken care of.
Skeletons when we get back. That's all.
No, they have to take care of them.
It's gonna be
Jurassic Park when you go back.
No, they can have special like lion jerky or all animals jerky.
Oh, there you go. It's built-in food for Great Adventure and have the safaris. Sure, Bush Tampa.
Well, I know
elephant burgers and.
Last I read, Disney wanted to do a whole bunch of maintenance projects, but then they just canceled all that stuff. And then Universal, again, last I read, they are apparently, at least with that Jurassic Park coaster and Islands, they're still working on it. And they're still working on the new park. So that's funny. They are so cutthroat that they're like, coronavirus or not, we don't give a shit. We're building this. We're going to beat Disney, damn it. This is the edge they need to beat Disney.
Yeah, we'll burn through 8 different construction crews. Crew dies, get the third one in. Who cares?
Right, it's worth it. Universal's crazy. I don't know, man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they opened before Disney.
Oh, that'd be.
Well, you said Halloween. That's their thing.
They'll start Halloween Horror Nights in like mid-August, and just to get the edge.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Okay.
Like a emergency room theme.
There's a new spin on those those virus post-apocalyptic houses.
Oh, God. No, they just take you to a real hospital emergency room.
Does anybody do that this year?
A living nightmare.
The living. No, too soon. No one's gonna do that this year.
It's too current.
Yeah.
It's too real.
But there's so many layers to this where it's not just the park. He's saying, we used to get those deals, but it's like, well, you got to take a flight to get there, and then you got to book a hotel, and you got to rent a car. So it's like there's all these things that are just interconnected. That they're all just everything's so messed up.
It's like one big industry. It's not. Yeah, it's not just the park. It's that whole industry.
Yeah, and who's going to be willing to go?
I think they'll find people that are still ignoring this thing even today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They'll get people. I mean, it might be the least attended Halloween Horror Nights. For the people that do go, I guess, and it might be great in terms of wait times and that kind of thing. Well, and on the flip side, if this thing mostly blows over and by the fall it's more or less deemed safe, it would be probably the most attended Halloween season just across all the parks. Like if they can all do it safely, not just Universal, but then I think they will, and I think it'll be insane crowds because people are going to have the cabin fever and they're going to be just chomping at the bit to do anything, and that's already something that a lot of people do nowadays. So they're just going to flock, and then you won't get near anything.
Yeah, it'll probably be either or. It'll probably be either insanely crowded or not crowded at all. Right. If they open.
And it depends on the level of, where we are with the virus.
It could also kind of be middle of the line because you're going to have the cabin fever people, but then you're going to have the cabin fever people who have been laid off for so long and have no money.
That's a good point. Yeah. People don't have the money. You're right.
That's another thing. Just like staffing. I mean, because so many people are out of work right now, I guess they wouldn't have an issue with staffing because I'm sure people are chomping at the bit to get back to work, get a job.
But people don't have money to go to the parks.
But then,
it's like disposable income, that people maybe don't have right now. I did some research. I was reading that Six Flags, there's a class action lawsuit against Six Flags because they automatically renewed people's memberships and seasons passes. I guess other parks are refunding them or at least giving them like a warning or something, and Six Flags didn't. They just went ahead and charged everybody. So I guess there's a class action lawsuit.
That seems to be the exact opposite from all the other parks. The Cedar Fair parks have, I think, all or at least mostly extended their passes through next year. If you have a pass for 2020, you're getting 2021, no questions asked. Even your like dining and drink, any add-ons you have are also being honored next year. And Hershey Park, while not as good as Cedar Fair, is at least extending your pass through next June. They are currently planning on opening by early June, is what they said. But, you know, like that could definitely all change. But they are at least extending their pass through next June and then offering a discount for like if you want to buy the rest of next year. So Six Flags is apparently doing the opposite, and they suck. And we hate them.
Well, you know, this could be fake news. I encourage you to do your own research. But
It's fake news.
I read an article on the internet that said that.
The internet. If it's on the internet,
It's true. Your own research.
Well, and to the point of being charged, both Cedar Fair and Hershey have suspended payments for anyone who used the payment plan to purchase their season pass.
Yeah,
They said they will not charge your bank account again until the park has reopened.
Yeah, I think they're all doing that. I guess except Six Flags.
I guess. Well, allegedly, according to some phony news article.
Yeah, according to an article that I read on the internet and it wrote on a paper towel. But people are not going to have the money, even if they wanted to go. I mean, it's so expensive.
Certainly not for Disney or Universal, at least, you know.
but they'll go anyway and put themselves in debt like they used to.
Oh man,
that's true. No one who really ever had the money in the first place. Right?
Exactly.
Well, that's a great question. Like, does Disney actually at least not raise the price, or maybe decrease it for the first time in history, like for 21?
What? No, that's not.
You know what I mean? Because this is unprecedented. It's what we hear all the time. This is truly unprecedented in our modern society. It was over 100 years ago last time something like this happened, long before Disney was around and any of these modern theme parks. So, you know, if there's ever a time when they should not raise the price, this would be it.
Yeah, you think they're extending their season passes or whatever? Like they have your annual passes, I guess? Are they going to give everybody a couple extra months or however long the park is closed?
They probably have to.
But will they?
Yeah, will they?
I don't know.
Well, Disney's a whole other thing. I mean, I could see them reopening and like, you know, you can get in, but they'll charge extra for masks. It'll be like, they'll put the character faces like on them, and then it'll be like, well, you know, it's another $50 a person for the all-day mask pass, and you know, they'll come up with, you can just go to the food line and get your food, but if you want your food come in a sealed plastic container, you know, that'll be another upcharge of some sort, or you know, they'll figure out how to monetize it. You know, they will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about getting something added onto your Magic Band and then being able to hold your Magic Band up and get a squirt of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, hand sanitizer stations, but like that'll be upcharged too. Like, you know, that's Disney for you. Maybe they'll reduce the price to get in, and then they'll just fuck you every other way once you're there.
Yeah.
They're going to require masks and gloves. You know, some places are, you know, they're requiring it. Do you think that's going to be, I don't know, maybe if not masks, at least gloves? I really don't know. And then what about these rides? I mean, I've always had in the back of my head, like how germ-ridden these like roller coasters are. You're just sitting, it's just person after person after person, and it's just like you're sitting in all these germs. What are they going to do? Like in between rides, are they going to spray it down real quick and then, you know, then you can get in? Is that might be procedure now? Just do it so it's not like that touch transfer.
SeaWorld was doing that already before they closed.
Oh, okay.
That's at least one example. They were, I think I saw on Kraken, they were like wiping the train down in between every ride.
Yeah, and then that goes through a lot of materials. I mean, that's a lot of waste.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sanitizer.
Yeah.
It's a lot of waste, and it's also increasing the wait times. You know, if you're already going to have long lines of people social distancing. So
I think I saw something about like when you use your fast pass, you would like scan it and then scan your fingerprint, your biometrics, whatever. I think that they were trying to reduce the touch points with that and at least get rid of the part where you touch your finger to it. You just have to scan your Magic Band.
Okay. People have been complaining about that for a long time too.
Are you saying that they already
did some
eliminated?
Of the rides have that still?
No.
Was it
No, you never did it for a ride. That was just to enter the park.
Okay. Well,
but are you saying that they already had stopped doing it before they closed?
We're talking about it. I don't know if it went through or not, but I definitely read something about that they were trying to get rid of that.
Well,
that they got rid of it in California and they were trying to get rid of it in Florida.
Oh,
or vice versa.
Well, that's already been controversial. I know the state of Illinois banned that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like creepy. That's like you're being fingerprinted going to a park. You know, it's like just. Well, what do you want, a blood sample? Like, oh, so what do you think about rides that are enclosed, like dark rides versus outdoor rides? Like, are people going to be trying to shut down or maybe not reopen dark rides right away because they kind of are whatever, you're contained in there? Like, is that going to be a thing?
That's an interesting thought. I wouldn't have thought about that.
I'm not sure about rides that are actually enclosed. What maybe it's more like the ride vehicle. Like I think of something like I know a million people are touching all ride vehicles. So just putting that aside, you know, something that's just like a coaster train where say it's like 2 across versus something like, I don't know why this is the first thing that came to mind, but Houdini at Great Adventure or New England, where there's like a whole bunch of people, it's a whole row of people, and there's several rows.
Star Tours?
Well, they're also sitting face off in that
or
scenario.
sitting face off, yeah, that's another thing.
Like, and anything with face off cars, it's not much, but you know that.
Or what about cars that just spin too? I mean,
the spinning, yeah, you're actually like flinging spit into the people's faces.
Yeah, going into other people's air.
You know, like it's microscopic, but it's there.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Oh, so some airlines I know they're leaving the middle seat open if it's like a 3-person across. Do you think that might happen in the rides? If it's like a 4-person or a 3-person, is it going to go that far?
Well, it's like reduce half capacity.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, only use
so you have a lot of the distance.
2 of the B&M seats in each row.
Yeah.
It's like it works for some rides.
You know, just single file for everything else.
Mm-hmm. And then single rider. I mean, you're riding potentially with someone you don't know, someone that's not in your household, a stranger, and you're like mushed up right against them.
Well,
you know, they don't know. No one knows. No one knows. These are all just like hypothetical, just questions, like ripple effect questions.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, there's a million things. I mean, what about the arcade? Mm-hmm. And what about the guy at the popcorn stand that's just digging his thing into the giant vat of popcorn? I mean, there's so many things.
Shoving his dick right in there.
Yeah, the guy just picking pencils up with his dick.
Or
that guy?
Or the lane games where everyone's using the same balls and rings and shit.
Oh yeah, those balls have been around the block.
Man.
I mean, they're not sanitizing any of that stuff in between. I know. Yeah.
Or like the prizes. What about the lane game prizes that are hanging out there where anybody can just touch them?
Yeah.
It's all you have to be behind glass or something?
Behind glass. Priceless artifacts now.
Yeah, I haven't been into a grocery store lately, but all the pictures I've seen online have like glass protecting all of the cashiers. Are they just going to have?
Oh yeah, the shield.
Well, I mean, the past 2-3 weeks, that's been the case around here anyway.
That's the thing. Yeah, we're hotels are doing it at the front desk.
Oh yeah,
they put up the shield now.
Okay,
yeah.
So like, are the game operators gonna have some sort of walking glass booth that they can be in?
like a riot.
It's like riot gear. They're just gonna be walking around.
I have to say, I'm glad we're laughing about this because, I mean, it is sad and depressing, because we love it and we love parks and all this stuff. I could see other people are just like, oh, that's the stupidest thing. Like, never reopen theme parks. We don't need them. But I'm just glad we're able to laugh about this now because
we won't be in 6 months.
Because I could use a laugh and
well, we managed to find the humor in it somehow.
Yeah.
Because it is ridiculous. It's just there is so much to think about that it just gets ridiculous.
It's just so overwhelming that you can't do anything but laugh at it because it's so big, it's so all encompassing that it's just like, how do you begin to process it, to kind of, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be changed. It's not going to be how you knew it. So you kind of, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and there's nothing that we can really do. At least with like the theme park industry, there's nothing we can really do about this. Just stay home, stay away, which is what everyone's doing.
Mm-hmm.
What about? All right, one thing I want to bring up is new attractions. What was supposed to be the new for 2020 attractions. It's probably safe to say that I think none of them will open. If one or two of the whatever it was, slate of 30 or 40 that are out there open, that'll be a lot.
And that's money that's lost, straight up lost, that they spent on, and they're not going to recoup, at least now.
Well, not right now. Well, I think right now, construction is halted pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of half-finished attractions.
What about the ones that are like almost finished? Are they going to be okay? Like, I feel like
I don't know. Were any almost finished though?
I feel like last time we drove past Hershey Park, I feel like
Candemonium?
I feel like Candemonium was built. I don't know if they started testing though. Was Orion almost finished also?
Like, again, though, the way parks have been going, they don't open the rides until July anyway. So I can't imagine anything was almost finished. This thing, everything went to shit about mid-March.
It's just at a standstill.
I would hope that anything that got started, say if it was a coaster, that track was actually manufactured and shipped out, and maybe they even installed a couple of pieces, that they would continue that whenever they actually get back to work, and it would open in next year or whenever. But stuff that maybe they planned on doing, but they hadn't. Maybe the manufacturing of it hadn't started yet. Those just might be totally gone, totally lost. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll just be canceled.
Maybe. I don't know, if how contracts work. If they have to manufacture it at some point in the future, or if they have some sort of clause in there where it's like something catastrophic happens, like an act of God,
pandemic clause. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this kind of breaks all the rules at this point, where you can get out of things that you normally wouldn't have been able to in the past.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I guess the best we could hope for is that they'll all become 2021 attractions.
Yeah.
For the most part, I guess. I'm honestly not thinking about any right now, but besides Orion, which you just mentioned, which I was looking forward to, like most of Six Flags stuff.
Yeah,
I think was all crap anyway. It
was like Jersey Devil was like the one.
Oh, that was the only one, yeah. And I know that they were already building. I'm pretty sure that was probably manufactured.
I think they, I don't know if they started to install track, but they were at least about to. So that one I think will get built, but it's just probably next year.
It's a matter of when, yeah. Or the year after, because if they, say they don't have money next year.
Oh, or that too, yeah.
It just takes all the money they have just to get the other stuff back up, and then maybe there's no new rides until 2022 at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right when you said that, if a small handful of things actually open, even in 2021, that might be a lot.
As sad as that is, yeah. And then I think, the usual park cycle, they probably already were planning their 21 stuff anyway, and that all just gets pushed back now.
Yeah.
For sure. So there'll definitely be less new attractions within the next like 5-year period or so because of this, for sure.
That Avengers Campus was supposed to open this summer.
Well, you could forget that. You could kiss that goodbye.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Disney, they've proven they're not afraid to just outright cancel things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they do that for a living. They love it.
They'll just shelve everything, Again, them along with Universal will be a couple of the first resorts to open, but they're going to push back all their new stuff now a lot. I'm sure like Tron will now be like 2023, and they're really going to push their shit back for sure. A lot of the parks are probably going to be receiving a lot of bailout money from the government.
Yeah,
ultimately too. I mean, Six Flags already should have gone under like a couple times already in its history, but they're more or less deemed too big to fail, and like something that's essential in this country, and you can't go without it. So I think in the end, they'll pull through. The banks and the government will make sure of it. If anything, I just wonder if some of the smaller, still mostly independent parks may never reopen after this.
Like Adventureland.
Like our very own Adventureland in Farmingdale, Long Island, or, just stuff like that.
Is Knoebels going to be okay?
Knoebels.
I will be devastated if they are gone.
Family-owned park still on its own.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I think those are the ones you got to worry about the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is that it's hitting different states at different times. Like, this isn't like it's all happening all together. So Florida could have its peak in December. Who knows?
Oh God! Please don't say that. Let it be soon.
Not the Christmas party.
You just don't know. And then you could have a second wave of it, like what's happening in Korea, I think, and Japan.
They're having second waves. I am trying to avoid the news. It just depresses me. Okay, so
so that's another thing. Is like, everything gets back to normal, and then it hits again. So
like they start opening things up, and then all the people who weren't sick already are getting sick now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it's a whole thing.
That's fun. Let's all just stay inside for the next 6 to 8 to 10 months.
Years? Oh, okay.
Yeah, stay inside and listen to Thanks for Writing. ThanksForWriting.com.
Support your local alcohol delivery service. No, just me. Okay.
No, support your local podcasts.
Yeah, that too. You already said that though.
Yes.
No, I wanted to bring up, but what do we think might last forever? Or at least like the rest of our lifetimes, what might never go back
Just
in the theme parks? In the theme parks. Let's not get crazy here about all society.
I don't know, because
anything you think, or does it all eventually snap back in like maybe 3 to 4 years?
at least with theme parks, I don't know if any of this stuff is going to last, because eventually, at least with this particular virus, they're going to develop a vaccine and everyone will get vaccinated. Of course, something else will come along at some point.
Yeah, that'll take about 100 years. So,
but yeah, sure. That's
again.
Hopefully, it won't be that soon. But like handing out masks and parks at half capacity and wiping down the vehicles. I don't think any of that's going to last more than I don't know, a year or
more
two.
More than it has to, I guess, right?
Yeah.
More than it has to.
Because it's just the nature of the business and those rides and experiencing everything. I can't see it lasting.
I mean, you did say water fountains though when you first brought that up. You kind of said as if they'd be gone forever.
Maybe that's
you think water fountains are done?
Maybe
water fountains go away. More or less, or at least they'll be a lot less prevalent. Some parks will get rid of them.
I don't know. I think there's going to be low attendance for years. It is, because people are going to be freaked out. They're going to be, people don't even want to step out of their front porch right now.
Well, not just that. People aren't going to have money. It's I don't know what the hell this economy is going to be.
People are not going to have money. Yes, people with families, they have to take care of their family first. And those are the people going to the parks.
Because, didn't attendance suck for a couple of years there? And, it was fantastic because we could get on everything as often as we wanted. As long as they stay open, I'm okay with the attendance being a little less.
The biggest dip I've seen was right after 9/11.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't going to parks then.
We did our first Way Out West tour. Our first West Coast trip was... I think within a year, right? Was it less than a year after September 11th?
It was 2002.
It was the summer of 2002. It was less than a year.
It was either July or August. I think it was August 2002. So less than a year. I believe it was
August. So less than a year, and that was pretty nice. I mean,
significantly lighter attendance.
It was the first time I had ever been to Disneyland, but it was the least crowded I've ever seen Disneyland as well.
Yeah.
At that time I didn't have anything to compare it to, but every time I've gone since, that place is impossible.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And definitely that first full season after 9/11, there was a lot less people going to parks.
I think it's the money issue too. People don't have the money to be spending on these extravagant Disney World trips.
Yeah, because unemployment is in the millions of people. It's really insane right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the flip side, people have super short memories. You know, people have really, really short memories. Like things that seem like, oh, the new normal will never, you know, this is going to be like this forever. I mean, in like 2-3 years, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that was crazy. You know, people have really short memories of what it was like.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. And I hope that we will be able to say that in 2 or 3 years. Oh wow, what the hell was that all about? That was weird.
That crazy summer and fall. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it'll be like that.
And then your memory kind of starts fading.
Yeah.
Do you think any of the smaller parks might be a little bit more crowded because they do offer more reasonable prices than the Disney or the Universal?
Oh, they might be. Like that, and just because they do cater to the locals, like the extreme locals. They if they can survive this, I don't know. It's like I want to say yes, and then I immediately just think about how nobody wants to go anywhere right now. Well, and nobody can right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I go back and forth on it in my mind.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine right now, but yeah, I mean, like, you know, like the Del Grossos of the world. Like,
sure. All right, I was not thinking that small either.
It's like Del Grosso will do really great.
Like,
now.
oh, we can't go to Disney, but Hershey's only 3 hours away. We won't have to fly. Maybe we'll go to Hershey or Six Flags or Cedar Fair instead. I wasn't even thinking about the Knoebels and Del Grossos of the world.
Just regionals. If they can, you know, or when they get open, like, sure, you know, that could be something that happens. You know, but those aren't that cheap either anymore.
Well,
this is the thing, you know, they're not really, unless you get the season pass for Six Flags.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Most of it is not.
Season pass for like the price of a day.
Okay, but most people don't know. People you're talking about don't necessarily know that.
That is true, but that's why we're talking about it.
The people that are up Disney's ass normally, and then they know they can't afford that in the next couple of years, but they don't necessarily know anything about what the regionals are doing.
All right, that is.
They're just going to go on the website and see that $70, $80, $90 for one day, and then they're like, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're right.
One thing that I think might change forever, or at least, you know, for a while, is I think cleanliness in parks. They're going to be super, super crazy anal about cleanliness. They're going to be cleaning those bathrooms. They're going to be cleaning all those kitchens and everything. They're going to be wearing gloves. Maybe they'll be wearing masks forever. You know, I think they're going to be super crazy about cleanliness.
Actually, that could be like a forever thing.
You know, disinfecting. Or there's going to be antibacterial all over these places. They're going to have antibacterial.
Like
Clorox wipes. They're going to have everything. It's going to be
like entrance and exit of every queue.
Yeah.
We'll have complimentary hand sanitizer.
Yep.
I mean,
kind of thing.
I'm good with that. Yep. I would have been good with that 5 years ago.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, you know, for the chains that could afford to put that in place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see that.
And people in food service, they're going to be like in like hazmat suits.
Awesome. I can't wait.
I think, what about water parks? Are those just going to be a thing of the past?
Well, you were already against them.
Yeah, you never went.
I
mean, I don't think they'll be gone forever.
They might be less popular for the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, they may have a longer time for rebound than the regular parks will.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely possible. You definitely might see more small independent water parks might close for good than small independent amusement parks. But I think they'll be back in the end. Yeah. Like you said, everybody forgets. Like, everyone will be a little nicer to each other for a while. Like, we saw that after 9/11, or there was a lot of new patriotism that came out of that. But then, you know, after 2-3 years, it all went back away.
It's kind of the opposite, I feel like, or it's a blend of both. It's like people are sort of nicer, but they're also meaner. And they're like,
well, they're meaner if you like cough into your hand or into the air, sure. Or like if it's like, you know, how dare you?
Yeah, it's like people are looking at you suspiciously. So it's a little bit, there's like, I don't know, it's a mix of both in a way.
As far as people, we were all getting screwed in this time, but Cedar Point, this was their big 150th. So it's like their 150th season doesn't happen.
Nope.
Well, next year will be their 150th.
And I guess,
because if they skip this year, then it's
But
Still the 149th, technically.
but hasn't it been continuous for them? So doesn't that mess up their record?
Well, I guess. I don't know.
But then if they only open for like one day just to keep the streak, but then you've blown your 150th season. Because that one day was your 150th season. Oh, they're in such a weird bind. What do you do?
I know. It's like, it's such big decisions. Like we don't have bigger fish to fry.
Come on, that's all I'm worried about is Cedar Point.
What was the new
What are they
wacky
gonna
food
do?
they were going to do? We're not getting screwed out of that, are we?
Yeah, the 1800s food they were going to do. But, they do get to keep Steel Vengeance's records for one more year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So,
Was it Iron Gwazi that was going to fuck that up?
it was, yes.
Although that's a Florida park, so maybe it'll be open sooner.
Oh.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, yeah, that's, actually totally finished. So, yeah, that ride was, ready to go. It, did test runs and everything, so...
Oh, so that might open right away.
That's, ready to go, as soon as that place is reopened.
All right. But it's Rocky Mountain, so there'll be some trouble.
So, yeah...
It'll open for a day, and then there'll be some problems.
Yeah, maybe.
And what about that Mickey and Minnie Railway? Did that actually open?
Oh, that did, yeah.
It did open.
Yeah,
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
It
Oh, let's
opened.
go.
It opened, and then hell froze over, quite literally. And now
Yep.
the whole world has gone under. So, anything else on this wonderful topic? Theme parks in an age of a pandemic.
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody goes back to this, however many years from now, it'll be a pretty weird listen.
Yeah, this will be an interesting time machine piece. A couple of decades from now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like we need
It's
to
like
mention
predictions, which came true,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to listen to it ourselves in the future.
I bet they're all going to be wrong. Who knows?
It's just the end of theme parks. That's it.
Yeah.
And never come back.
For the record, it's Thursday, April 16th at 11:24 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, thank you.
No Eastern Daylight Saving Time, actually.
Oh,
And 2020.
2020.
If you didn't get the year.
There's not another fucking pandemic in
couldn't
a
fi-
different April 16th
that
any other years that
Pandemic
we're alive.
that's going to hit.
Oh, God.
No.
Although every
It's every 100 years.
100 years,
happens.
the 20s of any given century.
Yeah, these 20s really suck so far, I tell you.
All right, thanks.
For
Thanks.
Not.
Friday.